Hi. Welcome to our Tuesday tap. I'm so glad to have you here with me today. This is your first time. Welcome. If it's not, welcome back. I'm so glad that you're here. I will go over a quick, brief overview of what we do here. Um, let's see, I was trying to think of, there was something I was going to mention first. Oh, well, it'll come back. We do tapping, which is EFT, which stands for Emotional Freedom Techniques. It is an overwhelm and trauma release technique. It's very, very simple. Even if you haven't done it before, no worries. You can follow along with me. You will have it down by the end of our time together. We have an hour together. And what we do is we just start tapping. I don't really go into any explanations. If there are questions, I'll definitely answer them. But it's not a knowledge gaining hour together. It's an experiential hour. And the way that you can participate, if you choose, if you want to give feedback or you have questions or you want to give a suggestion of a topic, you can put it in the chat. It is something that I monitor as well as I can as we're tapping. I don't always get to everyone's requests, but if you put it in there, then I will do my absolute best to create a situation that allows you to tap specifically on it with me. Now, don't, if I'm not able to do that for you, there's no worries. It's not like you get left out because with tapping, I will also show you how you can adjust whatever it is that we're tapping on to make it beneficial for you, even if the subject that we're currently on doesn't really apply to you. I know it might sound a little confusing, but it's really cool and it works. So just hang in there and you'll get it as we go along. If you don't put anything in the chat, no worries. Like I said, you can still get a full benefit and just being a part of our community. There's some really, really wonderful people here. And I hope that you give yourself the chance to feel that and be a part of that. We are always here Tuesdays at 1 p.m. Pacific time. That's when I always go live. So there are all the details. Now you know. I'm going to say hi real fast. Hi, Carrie. Hi, Karen. Well, thank you for your suggestion. Hi, Mo. Oh, thank you. Hi, Mama Hutch. I am like rocking the 80s vibe today. I don't know how this happened, but like the big bangs and the ponytail. And I got these slap bracelets from a birthday party of my friends that I went to recently. So um, but thank you guys. I appreciate all of the lovely things that you say. I uh sometimes it's awkward for me to acknowledge just because I'm still working on not being awkward receiving compliments. But I do truly appreciate it. Like when you let me know something has helped you, all of that, it really does touch my heart, even though I'm awkward at showing it. Um, okay, let's see. Oh, I'm so glad I make you smile, Karen. I love that. That is a beautiful comment for me to see. Hi, Reiki Flow. I am not on vacation yet. This is my last week before vacation. So if I feel a little scattered, I'm so sorry. I'm not trying to throw that at you, but that is kind of where I am right now in my life. We fly out next week. So next week I will be on location, actually in Portugal. So it's my first time there and I'm really, really excited to see that part of the world. So anywho, let's get to you guys. Let's get to tapping. Oh, Mama Hutch, thank you. Um, yes, yes, Mo, I agree with you. And it's a process of learning, right? It's not a circle, it's a spiral. You learn on both sides. Um, okay, let's go ahead and get grounded. Okay. Just feel your body for a second. See if you need to adjust your position, if your legs want to wiggle, if they want to fold, if they want to straighten, how your back is doing, if you need to roll your shoulders a little bit, shake out your arms, maybe tilt your head. Just see what your body's asking for. And let's take a breath. And on your exhale, really sigh, let that out. We're giving our body a signal of we're taking a moment to relax here. So let's do another breath. And just because of all of the extra energy that I've got, I'm going to take my hands, I'm just going to wrap them around my neck. You can do that too if you want. This is just kind of a calming hack. And I'm purposefully covering up behind my ears, hitting a couple of acupoints that are back there that I'm just going to hold. And I'm just going to hold this while we're doing our next step, which we're just going to draw all of our attention back into our bodies in a very gentle way. And we'll do this by, you can have your eyes open or closed. I like to close mine. We're just going to think about different body parts. You don't have to touch them. You don't have to look at them to verify that they're there. We're just going to pay attention to them. So, right now, I'm going to think about where in space are your earlobes? Where are your earlobes? And where are the tops of your ears? And what is the distance between them? Really feel that space that's between the top of your ear and your earlobe. Take a breath here. And how about your chin? Where in space right now is your chin? And how about the sides of your arms? All along the side of your arm, both sides. Where are those? And what about your ribs? Where are your ribs? All of those ribs inside of that torso of yours. Where are your ribs? Let's take another breath here. And where is your belly button? Where's your belly button? I want you to think about a space about 3 or 4 inches below your belly button. Just kind of right that midpoint in between the top of the pubic bone and the belly button. There's that space. It's called the hara. It's an energy thing. I won't go into it more than that. But just think about that space, about 3 inches below your belly button. Where is that? And what about your hip joints? Where are those? And your heels? And lastly, the tip of your big toe. Where are the tips of your big toes? Okay, let's take one more breath. Okay, now I'm going to just speak an intention for our time together. I'm going to open my eyes, put my hands over my heart. You're welcome to join me in that as well. You can keep your eyes shut during this time if you want to. It is my intention that as we tap together during this time, that you will feel the truth of you being an important part of this community that we create together every week. And that we get to create this community with whoever's able to show up at the time and whoever joins us by watching the video later. And wherever we are in the world, at whatever time it is, whatever we're going through right now, that we are united together in this purpose to show up to be supported and to show up to maybe give support and to receive the benefits that showing up together and tapping can give to us. And it's my intention to give you what it is that you came here for, whether that's just to feel better or to feel more free or more empowered, to gain a different perspective, to take a big step or a really, 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 really small one, whatever that looks like for you, that as you complete this time here together today, that you do get to receive that. Okay, let's take one more breath. Okay. So with that, go ahead and open your eyes. If your eyes have been closed, we want to keep our eyes open while we're tapping. It's important for our eyeballs to have that sensory information if we are a sight dominant person. If you're not a sight dominant person, meaning you don't use your sense of sight as one of your dominant sensories, then just bringing your awareness to this session through your ears or whatever way you process. I'm gonna see what, you guys have inputted here. Thank you, Anya. Oh, thank you for telling me your pronunciation. I appreciate you so much for that. Oh, thank you, Anya. Hi, Barb. Hi, Dr. Scott. All right. So I know we've got a suggestion, and I don't have any email suggestions that came through for this week. So we're going to go right up to Karen. So feeling irrelevant by those I love. And you put not my friends. So it seems very particular then, Karen. If you're comfortable, can you give me that specific? Are you talking like a romantic love? You say those I love. Do you mean family dynamic? You don't have to share that. It just may assist me a little bit in directing things as we tap on it. I think this is a great thing to bring up. So thank you, Karen, for sharing that. Feeling irrelevant, I keep wanting to say irreverent. Sorry if I make that slip up, I don't mean it. I mean irrelevant, um, or invalidated, not seen, not heard. These are things that I get pretty deeply triggered by myself, because it's such a big part of who I am to really make that a forward focus of mine for the people that I'm just around, not even just the people that I care about, that I love, that are in my life, but just when I'm out in public, I make a big deal to be considerate, to what I consider to be the appropriate degree for the people that I'm around, whether they're a stranger or my closest person. So when I feel like I'm not receiving that back, that is painful, and makes me feel like less, or that the person thinks I'm less. And that can be an easy way to spiral, particularly if you have limiting beliefs tied to that, on what that could mean, even if the person isn't meaning to present that to you. Um, okay, thank you for answering, Karen. Family. Okay, so there's likely a lot of history there, then, a lot of repeat offenses. Um, mm, and I have that experience as well. So I love you, Karen. Um, and let's tap on that. So if you were not having the same experience, where you're feeling irrelevant by family, by people that you love, you could tap on feeling unseen or unheard in a different way. It could be at work. It could be by yourself. You keep trying to motivate yourself, or to get yourself to shift something, and you're just not listening to yourself. All of those can be options. It doesn't have to be in a negative. It can be in a positive. I really want to apply this positive thing, and I'm not able to. I'm trying to give myself permission to do this thing, and I don't have it yet. So those are some avenues that you could use if this doesn't directly apply to you. The language that I will use is, since I keep messing up the word irrelevant, and I'm really tripping up on that. Is it okay if I use the word? Um, oh, what's the one I just had? Not unseen, not unheard. Uh, wow, it's just really gone. So I will use irrelevant. I guess that's there's that. All right, so I'm going to use irrelevant to those I love. I'm just gonna be direct with it and say to my family. I feel like we need to say to my family. So, and if that doesn't apply to you, please change the wordings to where it does. Okay, let's start. Even though right now I feel completely irrelevant to my family, I deeply and completely accept myself. Even though right now I am irrelevant to my family. And I'm hurt by that. I still choose to deeply and completely accept myself. Even though right now I feel completely irrelevant to my family, and I don't know how to change that, I still choose to deeply and completely accept myself. I want to go to the 9 gamut on this. Okay, so that's switching to this tapping point in between the ring and pinky fingers down just on the opposite side of the palm. We're going to tap in that little groove in between the bones there. And now we're going to hold our noses forward and circle our eyes around our periphery. It looks funny, but it targets the brain in a specific way that's very helpful. So go ahead and look up at 12, and you can choose either direction. We will circle both ways. Irrelevant. Irrelevant to my family. I'm irrelevant. Not seen, not heard, invalidated, irrelevant. Why don't I matter? Why don't I matter to my family? I don't matter. I'm irrelevant. Switch directions. Irrelevant. I don't matter. I don't matter to my family. I don't know how to matter. Irrelevant. Completely irrelevant. Completely, totally irrelevant. Okay. I'll go ahead and relax your eyes. Take just a moment. If that felt straining for you, you can blink, look down a little bit. We're going to switch back to our normal tapping spots. Being irrelevant hurts. I thought that all I had to do to matter to my family was be my best self, to not be a horrible person and be their family. Isn't that what family means? Why don't I matter? Why don't I matter? Why don't I matter to my family? Irrelevant. Irrelevant against my will. I've tried. and failed. I still don't matter. I'm still irrelevant. The thought of this is so painful, and there's so much history. Maybe it's too much for me to release. It feels so stuck. It feels so overwhelming. I don't even know how to begin to approach this. And maybe I can't. Maybe this will just hurt me for forever. And I will just constantly ache in this way for the rest of my life. Even though a part of me really believes that I will hurt like this for the rest of my life, I deeply and completely accept myself. Why is that important? Why would I say that statement right now? Why does accepting myself, as I'm talking about being in pain for the rest of my life, matter? Why would I say that? I wonder, why am I saying that? Maybe it's because some things aren't easy to resolve. And maybe it's because some things do continue to hurt. And that's okay. That's not okay. Maybe it's okay that it's not okay. Even though I'm not quite sure how to phrase it right now, I can acknowledge that it's okay for me to acknowledge that it's complicated. But then why would it be important for me to say, I deeply and completely accept myself anyway? Maybe it's because even though I have had this pain in my life for so long, I still became who I am. I've had to make really hard choices that have felt scary and heavy, maybe lonely, that have made me feel angry, sad, that have caused grief. And even through all of that, I still found a way to be who I am today. Even with all of this baggage that I still have because I don't know how to let it go yet. I've still managed to become me. And I have found people who love me. It's not my family. And it's okay for me to have feelings about wishing it could also be my family. I'm allowed to have more than one emotion. I can have all of my emotions all at one time because it's how I feel. My emotions. My emotions about my situation how I feel about my family. As I consider how I feel about my family, I deeply and completely accept myself. And I hold space to be surprised by a different perspective. I wonder, I've been so focused on being accepted, being relevant, being validated by my family. Have I ever questioned what else might be attached to that? What do I think I don't get to have because I'm irrelevant? What is it that I'm missing out on, or that I believe I'm missing out on because of the way my family sees or doesn't see me? What am I missing? Irrelevant. Missing. Irrelevant. Not allowed. Irrelevant. Irrelevant, therefore, what? Even though I may have other beliefs behind this one that I don't know yet, I wonder if I can also ask myself, what is it that I want? What is it that I want that I feel like I can't have until I feel relevant? Is it a sense of peace? Is it simply validation, being seen? And whatever it is that something that I really want to give to people who either don't seem capable or aren't willing? Well, it's not really my choice. I mean, it's my family. I can't just make the choice for it to not be my family. Can I? I wonder, why did I decide it was my family? Is it because I was raised believing that there are these magical ideals about family, that because you're a family, it means all of these sacred ties between people, which may or may not be relevant? But couldn't it also be possible that we are all still people and we all have very different ideas of everything? And whether or not we choose who our families are, whatever I believe in that, maybe I chose or didn't choose this family so that I could go find other people so that I could become who I am. And whether or not I believe there was any precursory decisions to us becoming a family, this is where we are now. And it has really hurt me to hold on to the beliefs that I've had up to this point in my life. So I wonder, what beliefs can I let go of to give myself permission to release all of this expectation? Because my family may meet my expectations someday, or they may never. So, what if I could release them from that? No, no, I can't release my family from that. They're my family. That feels too lonely. It feels too painful. It feels like they're getting off easy. Even if I do have some pushback to this, I still hold space to find a way for me to feel good, for me to be able to feel relevant. And it's okay that not everybody in the world holds that capacity to make me feel relevant. To some people, I'm really not. And I had hoped that my family would have that capacity. And maybe they don't. But I wonder, if I release that expectation, what other possible connections might be there. Have I believed that it's this or nothing? Have I told myself that either they find me relevant in this way or it's nothing at all? I suppose that could be true. But also, maybe it's not. Whether or not it's true, I still choose to deeply and completely accept myself. And if there is a part of me that really just needs to hear certain words, either from myself or from my family, because my brain, my soul, my heart just really aches for it. And that is the way I've decided to receive it. And they can't physically give it to me. I can choose to give it to myself. I can close my eyes and picture them with me and saying everything that I need to hear. And maybe that'll be enough. Maybe it won't be enough. But whether or not it's enough, it's worth a try. And it's a good beginning point. Family dynamics are complicated. But as I allow myself to expand my beliefs on how to achieve this, or even what it is I'm trying to achieve, I hold space that I'll find what I'm looking for, and that it is possible for me. And then I don't have to hold on to this feeling of being irrelevant. Because the truth is, I'm not irrelevant. I am loved, and I am seen, and I am cared for. And it's okay that this has been a sticky spot for me. But it doesn't always have to be. And maybe now I've got a really good idea of something that I can try to help get me out of it. Releasing my sticky spot. Releasing this space. And as I continue to explore how I can release this space of feeling irrelevant, I deeply and completely accept myself. Boy, I felt a lot of energy on that one. So I'm going to do a pat down. Whew. Okay, this is just a kind of a Tai Chi, just slapping the body, moving energy. Whew. Okay. Definitely not an end point, but hopefully that's a good enough beginning point for shifting and getting ideas of new perspectives that are possible to continue to tap on. I cannot stress enough how soothing. It's called Unfinished Conversations. I believe Dr. Church has some videos on it on our channel. I know he has some examples of him doing it with people on the EFT Universe website, where you could follow a session where he does it with someone and just trade in, your experience for the words of the person he's tapping with. So impactful to get those words that you're craving, and usually very surprising, because the person in the way they reply isn't always necessarily what you're expecting. Um, but I can't think of a time where anyone's done it and they've gone, well, that was a mistake. So give it a try. All right, let me see what you guys have said. Consistency regarding purpose. Okay. Live with a critic. Okay. Oh, thank you, Dr. Scott. That's so sweet. Oh, thank you. Your spiritual tribe or family is often at least as important as our biological family, maybe even so. I completely agree wholeheartedly, Richard. Yay. Okay, awesome. So what's next? Cedric, you said tapping on consistency regarding purpose. Okay, so there's all, my brain goes, there's a lot of choices on what that could mean. So consistency, you have an idea of what you're wanting to do, but you're having trouble committing to it. You want to have a purpose, but you feel like you could have purpose in all of these areas and you're just not sure which one to choose. You're not sure how to get there. You keep changing what your pathway is. You know what it is, but it's so far out and there's all of these possibilities, and maybe you feel like you're running in circles rather than going towards it. So whatever way you mean, Cedric, yeah, let's tap on it. So consistency regarding purpose. I am going to phrase that as, I'm going to say being consistent, because there's a lot of different ways that being consistent is a struggle. How maybe we want to be consistent in being kind or being flamboyant or being able to speak our minds. And we get into different situations where that becomes way more difficult. And being consistent in that becomes, there's a much higher stake for doing that. So being consistent is that can be a pretty intense, multi-layered objective. So go ahead and get in mind what it is that you want to be consistent on. And Cedric, I know yours is regarding purpose. So really have a good idea of what that purpose is. So tune into what it is that you want to be consistent on, everyone. And let's start tapping. As I consider, sorry for the background noise, it's summer and my daughter's at home. So you will now hear some periphery noise every now and then. Even though, as I consider what it is or where it is that I lack consistency, I deeply and completely accept myself. Even though, as I consider the gap between me right now and where I want to be consistent, I still choose to deeply and completely accept myself. Even though right now I really want to be consistent and I'm not, and I have feelings about that, I release myself from my own judgment and I deeply and completely accept myself. Consistency. Not there yet. Consistency. Being inconsistent. I am inconsistent. Feelings about being inconsistent. Even though, as I tap right now and admit to myself, I am still inconsistent. And I have feelings about that. I give myself permission to hold space outside of those feelings and just become curious. So right now, I'll just be curious. I wonder, why does being inconsistent bother me so much? Why is it so important to me that I am this one thing? What is it that I believe being consistent means about me? What does being consistent mean? Who am I when I am being consistent? Do I believe that being consistent means I am being successful? Does it mean I'm being responsible? Does it mean I'm taking myself or my goals seriously? And therefore, when I'm inconsistent, does it mean I'm not being serious? I'm not responsible. I'm not enough in some way. Is this the line that I have created for myself in which to tell myself I'm not good enough? That this is my fault line that's keeping me from what I want? Even if a part of me believes that it's true that being inconsistent will keep me from what I want, I deeply and completely accept myself. I may be capable of being consistent, completely, unshakably, infallibly. I may never, ever, no matter how hard I try, no matter how hard on myself I am, no matter how many sacrifices I make, I may never actually be consistent. Wherever the truth for me lies on this spectrum, I deeply and completely accept myself. But I wonder, am I holding myself back? Am I holding myself back from reaching what I want because I believe I don't deserve it until I'm consistent? Is there a part of me that believes I don't deserve to get it by sloppily stumbling my way there and having days where there's only 5% and days where there's 25% and 100% sometimes, but not as often as I'd like, and making mistakes and maybe feeling embarrassed and not having all the tools and not doing as good as someone else who's succeeded this way? Do I believe I don't deserve to have it if that's how I'm going to reach it? Am I judging my pathway and getting in my own way because I'm saying my pathway, my journey, isn't worthy? My journey, my worthiness, my worthiness for my journey. My abilities, my inabilities, my ability to be consistent, my inability to be consistent. Whether or not I am ever consistent, I believe I deserve to reach my goals. Well, maybe I can deserve to reach my goals, but I'm not allowed to feel good about it. Because I didn't earn to feel good about it. Because I wasn't consistent. Because I didn't measure up along the journey and how I got there. So maybe I can reach it, but I can't feel good about it. Olivia, stop. That's very, very loud. Set it down, please.
I'm trying to clip it.
Nope, just leave it. Just set it down. It's okay. Just set it down. No more of that chip bag. I'm so sorry. We're learning. How many times and how many measures do I have to prove I'm worthy before I can have what I want? And before I will allow myself to receive it? And before I will allow myself the grace of receiving it step by step? How much must I prove before I will allow myself victory? even though right now I may not have an answer to that question. I appreciate being aware to ask it. I may not know why I'm holding that against myself and causing my own pathway to be more complicated, more stressful than it needs to be. Because the truth is, people reach goals all the time. And rarely is it as graceful or as perfect and fairy tale like as we want it to be. Maybe we didn't always get that side of the story when someone's telling it. And it's okay if what I picture is that fairy tale journey. It's okay if that's what I desire. But it's also okay to shift my priority and how I'm measuring my journey. Because what good comes out of me reaching my goal? If I get there and then refuse it. Maybe I can offer myself a different measurement for consistency. As I work on becoming more skilled and more practiced in other ways. My consistency. Seeing my consistency in a different way. Maybe I can see how consistently I try. Maybe I can see how consistently I check in. Maybe I can see how consistently I judge myself, which will allow me to shift that energy. Maybe I can see how consistently I analyze and utilize that to my benefit. Maybe there are ways that I am solidly consistent that I've completely missed because I've been so caught up in this one specific way. So as I consider my journey, my belief of my own worth, of how I receive my journey, and consider my tactics, my plan for my goals, I hold space for myself to truly find methods of support and acceptance and clarity so that I can release these motivations that I discover aren't working for me, to make room for ones that do. And as I do this, I deeply and completely accept myself. Okay, let's take a breath. So I hope that was helpful, maybe gave you some different perspective and insights. Thank you, Cedric, for bringing that up. I think that's a very widespread very good point to focus on for releasing and shifting. So thank you for that. Okay. Let's see, we've got just about 5 minutes. You're very welcome, Cedric. Okay, serious health issues. Sidetracked you. Okay. We're going to do kind of a broad tap. Let's finish on a high note. Of just belief and ability. Okay? All right. Here we go. As we come to the end of this tapping session together, I fully open myself to receive all of the positive vibes and to give all of the positive vibes, that we can weave this energetic tapestry of all of our different strengths, all of our different perspectives, all of our different levels of love and understanding and kindness and joy and abilities with each other. And as I go throughout this next week, when I come up against something that feels big or difficult or scary or just maddening, and I need a little bit of extra support, I can remember this tapestry of energy that we're weaving together right now and tap into it and feel the love and the strength from my community. And remember that even though this moment may feel like something I don't want, that I do have places to lean. I do have strength that I can choose into. And I do have a community that cares how I feel when I feel off kilter, that wants to hear when I feel wonderful. And that however I'm feeling is okay for it to be valid. And it's also okay for me to allow the truth of other moments to be valid too. That I can be frustrated, but also loved. I can feel scared, but also supported. I can feel stuck, but also know that people are holding on to hope for me, even if in this moment it's hard for me to find. As I go throughout this week, I allow myself to have this space, this connection within me that I can choose to feel at any time. This connection to my community, this connection to my purpose, this connection to who I am and who I get to be. Take a moment and choose a spot in your body where that connection is. For me, it's very specific. It's like lower right side of the heart. Okay, there's mine. That's where I'm going to hold all of you this week. And I'll tap into that and I'll be pumping lots of love in there for you, a lot of intention. So as I feel this spot in my body and hold space for it, as I go throughout this week and whatever my experiences are, I deeply and completely accept myself. Okay, let's take a deep breath. I hope you really feel that. I hope you really know that this community really is real. And gosh, you mean so much to me. And I love you. And I will see you next week and the week after. I will be on vacation for 2 weeks, but I am still doing this hour because I want to. And it will drive me nuts if I don't, because I'll be thinking about you. And that feels like a long time. We've been doing this for over a year together, and I just don't want to miss it. So um, if something goes awry, I will do my best to communicate it. If you show up and for some reason I'm not right here, like I said, I'll do my best to leave a note somewhere for you. But I've got communication, with the place of where we'll be, and everything seems like it should go very smoothly. So I don't have any concerns, but I just want to express that just in case. So, alrighty, have a wonderful week, and I'll see you in a very different place next week. All right. Mwah. Take care. Love you. Okay. Bye for now.